Hello and welcome to the Neo Rambler channel. It's a pleasure to greet you and a pleasure for you to be listening to me if you are. Now, I didn't want this audio video to be of this topic to start off my channel with, unfortunately. But having said that, this particular issue in question is something that I feel very strongly about, and believe actually that this is not only a topic of discussion that I believe needs to be emphasized with, but also I need to get it off my chest so I can move on and actually move on to things that I believe are more constructive and indeed more relative to my channel. So this is kind of a make or break recording, really. Either you agree with what I say and you like it, or you don't and you dislike it, and that's that. And it's not really something I really should be starting off my channel with, but like I said, I believe this issue is very important, and I believe actually in this particular time and space that I'm doing this recording with, that I need to talk about it with. Now, what is this issue that you want to know about, that I want to talk about, that may be so controversial? Well, if you haven't looked at the title of the audio recording in question, it is with regards to my opinion about PewDiePie's ability, or not ability even, sorry, but PewDiePie's decision, I should say, of disabling comments on his YouTube videos. Now, he's already done this a while back, I believe almost a month back. I don't know the specific timescale from this recording to when he actually disabled the comments on his YouTube channel. But I know it was a few weeks ago at the very least at the time of this recording. And the reason why he disabled comments on this video was because apparently, according to him, at the best of my understanding, admittedly, is that he believed that the comment section was no longer being used to talk about the quality of his videos. The majority of comments that were being made on his comment sections were spam comments, that is, comments that promote other people's activities and comments that may advertise other things outside of his video's content, so that the people who did generally want to say something about his video were being drowned out by these comments that apparently were advertising things outside of his video content, and therefore drowning out people's opinions on his videos. Excuse me. So he decided to turn them off because he believed that because the comment section was being abused so much that it should be turned off, so that the spammers could not spam on his videos with their comments that may advertise themselves or other things that have nothing to do with PewDiePie's video content, but at the same time provide alternative communications about his videos that you could go by and therefore voice your opinion on his videos on said channels. Now, while that seems like a pretty neat idea, and I'll be honest, I do understand where he's coming from with regards to that. I mean, he is at the moment, I believe, the biggest YouTuber on YouTube. He has over 30 million subscribers. He therefore holds a lot of influence with regards to YouTube's content, I suppose. Well, actually, no, that take it back. No, that not really. But he has a lot of influence on YouTubers, and that's not only people who make videos, but people who also watch YouTube and therefore just comment and all that sort of stuff. He's a major influence on YouTube, basically. Because he's the top when it comes to the amount of subscribers he has. He's the biggest player with regards to subscriber base, and for him to make this decision carries a lot of weight, because not only will it affect his fans that like his videos, but as it was noted in the news, it was noted in media. I picked up on it via his own video, via his own channel, but also I noticed it was announced on various other news websites that he was doing that because he's such a big player in the YouTube community. And that's fair enough. I mean, he's so big. I mean, of course, he's going to attract some media attention. I mean, he didn't attract a lot, but he attracted enough for it to be significant with his decision to disable comments. So I can understand why he did it with regards to him saying that it was full of spam. He just wanted to make sure that the people who did comment on his videos were genuine fans of his and wanted to talk about his video content only and not spam. Um, and of course, eliminating haters and negative criticism as a side. He didn't disable comments because of that as a specific reason, but that's just a side bonus. Whether he implied for that, for him disabling comments on his videos to do that or not, we don't know. He hasn't said. All he has said is that it is just the spam. Now, again, that's where I understand. I think if you're as big as player as he is, and you're getting a lot of spam, and at the end of the day, as much as you admit and acknowledge you're a big player, you also admit that the people who made you big were the people who watched your videos, and therefore they're the ones you should prioritize as to uh, who should communicate with you with regards to your video content, and therefore they should be the only ones who should comment and not these spammers. I can see why he disabled the YouTube comments and then provided alternative means of commenting on his videos via his other his social media accesses. By the way, I don't know what they are specifically. Twitter's one of them. I think his own website's another, and I think he even created his own channel page, or no, not channel page. I think his own website for people who want to communicate with him about his videos whenever he uploads one. He's done a lot to provide people with alternative means of communicating, and that's good. That's really, really good. So that I understand why he's done that and understood why he shut off the comments. However, having said that, my biggest gripe is the fact that he turned off comments in the first place. Now, as much as you may think me having a gripe with that seems ridiculous, despite what I've said about him understanding why he turned it off and the fact that he's provided alternative means of communication with him about his videos via these other sources, Twitter and his own website and so forth. At the end of the day, he's still done what I believe is not right, and that is he has created a form of censorship with his videos. That is, that if you do use YouTube as a means of commentating or communicating your ideas, your opinions, your beliefs to other people's videos, or just in general, he's cut you off. And even though that he's provided you with alternative means to communicate with him about his videos, it doesn't take away from the fact that he has cut you off using YouTube as a communicator. Now, I have a big problem with that because that is censorship, and I don't believe in censorship. I believe that all information should be freely distributed, and I believe that information from whatever source, for whatever content, with whatever opinion, be it positive or negative, offensive, non offensive, etc., should be allowed to be voiced simply because human construction, human beings, human emotions, human build gives us this ability to do that. And I believe it is wrong to deny your ability to do that, to express yourself. And the fact that he's cut off this communications channel has what's pissed me off, to the point now that I personally have stopped subscribing to PewDiePie's channel, and I now no longer watch his videos. Any of his future videos, even his past videos, I don't watch them anymore at all because I feel that strongly about it. Now, again, I understand people who don't feel strongly about it. Of course, there'll be a lot of people out there saying that I'm overreacting, and that, he has provided alternative means of communication. What's the problem? He hasn't completely censorized us to voice our opinions on his videos. He's given us alternative means. The fact of the matter is that, yes, I agree with that, but at the same time, because he's a major player of YouTube, he can potentially, mind you, start a trend on YouTube, which is that any big player on YouTube, because there's other ones aside of him, he is the biggest, but there's also other players on YouTube that are quite big, not as big, but still big enough to make a significant impact on the YouTube community and indeed society as a whole. He's given them a lead. He's given them the ability to then turn around and say, well, do you know what? On my channel, I'm going to turn off my comments because of spam, because of negativity, because of they're not related to my video content, etc., etc. He is the leader. Whether he likes it or not, he is the leader of YouTube. He is the leader of YouTubers and of video content creators. And to set that trend off, I believe, is a very, very, very bad thing. A very bad thing. And he's now opened the gates for potential censorship. Now, I'm hoping that it doesn't happen. I'm hoping that I hope that what has happened is what has happened and stays as it happened. He's turned it off for spammers reasons. Nobody else follows suit because, other people, other big YouTubers could handle censorship. They can handle spammers even, sorry. They can handle negativity and all that. They have their own methods of dealing with it, and at the same time acknowledging the people who are commentating on the videos that do have a genuine opinion, be it negative or positive, that they can reach out to via YouTube because they've chosen to use YouTube to commentate, to create an opinion, to voice their opinion. They're still reaching out to them. They haven't censored it, but they have some ways of managing the spammers and the negative contents if they so desire. I believe that's the route you should take, even if you get to PewDiePie's level or you are at PewDiePie's level. And I suppose in a way I am directing this at PewDiePie in general. I appreciate that you're at a level where you get thousands and thousands and thousands of comments flying your way with regards to your video content, and finding a system to handle that, to filter out the ones that you want to respond to, and leave the others alone, the spammers and the negative haters. And I only use negative haters if you don't like them. I mean, you might choose very well to respond to them, but at least the spammers then I should isolate. Find a way of getting rid of them. The point being is that I believe as a big YouTuber, you should be prepared for that. You should have a system for that. And if you don't have a system for that, you should just ignore it. You should just leave it alone and let it happen. Let these spammers do their thing. And then go through the comments manually when you want to, when you feel like it, or if you want to hire someone to do it for you, or do it yourself. Go through it when you feel you need to, and pick out the comments that are positive and negative. And I appreciate that that is a huge task that would require a lot of time if you choose to do it by yourself. I appreciate that. However, again, when it comes to censorship, if you care about that, freedom of speech, freedom of opinion, freedom to distribute your information, you should do that. No matter what, you should do it. Or don't do it, but then just let the spammers do their thing, let the people do their thing, and leave it at that, and then use your alternative means to respond to them. You shouldn't cut off any forms of communication. Remember, these spammers, I believe for the most part, are just trying to get a leg up in the YouTube community because of you. You did it. You set the trend off. Pretty much. Well, no, you didn't singularly, but you've given them the confidence to try YouTube, to given them the confidence to try and get their own reputation. Anybody who's big would do that. You have a huge influence. You should accept that influence and accept the responsibility of it. But disconnecting the YouTube comment section, switching it off so they can't, no, I don't agree with it. 100%, I don't agree with it. I think you must put more effort into managing those comments and put them back on, because you are now censoring opinion. Even if it's spam and all that, you're censoring it, and you're now setting a trend where other YouTubers and indeed other influential people might follow suit. And if they do, then we could potentially be heading to a censorship society. Now, again, I appreciate the word potential is key here. Potential doesn't mean concrete. It doesn't mean it is definitely going to happen. It means that it could happen. The fact that it hasn't happened yet is a significant point. I acknowledge that point. But as time progresses, so does the probability of censorship becoming mainstream. And I do not want that risk to even be acknowledged or that risk to be even taken. I think we should eliminate it full stop and never allow that risk to happen in the first place. The fact that you could be careless enough to allow that risk to happen just tells me that either you're not intelligent or you don't care. One or the other. If you're intelligent, then you would find a way to manage the comments and keep them on. You don't care means that you just think, no, I'm going to be lazy and turn them off. I'm sorry. And fuck any of you who believe in censorship and all that, I'll just let it happen, or let probability happen. That's really careless. That doesn't tell me you care for your bros and all that, your supporters at all. That just means that you care for a number of them, but not all of them. Again, it's very difficult to satisfy the majority. I get that. And I admit that I'm in the minority as well with regards to this. I admit that. And I know that being in the minority, it's hard to get attention to yourself. Again, I admit that, and that's fine. But be that as it may, even in the minority, I still believe I should voice my opinion, and I still believe that actually, no, I'm sorry, but you have done something really, really wrong. And as a result, as a means of protest, I'm no longer watching your videos. And I love your videos to begin with. I really did. I was happy to subscribe to you. Personally, I've subscribed to him when he was at 800,000 subscribers or 900,000. It was between there. I caught him quite early on. That doesn't mean that I'm, better than any of the other subscribers. Of course not. It just means I'm just telling you when I subscribed to him. And he was really funny. And I personally hate horror games. I really do. I can't play them by myself. I'm a massive, massive pussy and a massive scaredy pants. I hate it. But to watch somebody else do it, and not only that, put a comedic spin to it in the way that he does, is fantastic. It really allows you to enjoy the horror game, but at the same time, have fun with it, have a laugh, And that's what he's been able to do is fantastic. I'm not knocking his ability and his contribution to YouTube, and indeed what he's done in terms of Let's Plays. He's been a massive contribution, and I really thank him for that. I really do. Fantastic, fantastic man, and I still believe that he is to some degree. I wish him all the best. But with regards to this decision he's made about disabling comments, then no, I'm sorry, but no, you shouldn't have done that. And I believe that you should reactivate them and manage it. Basically, if that means you have to hire people to manage it, do it. If that means that you're just going to ignore it and just let it manifest and occasionally look at it, get other people's opinions, or occasionally go through all the spam to get those people's opinions, do it. I don't mind, but at the end of the day, you have denied a communication method to express one's opinions about not just your video, but everything else, and that is censorship, and I don't agree with it. Yes, it is an extreme scenario and possibly even an extreme meaning behind you turning off the comments, despite the fact that you've never mentioned that, despite the fact that you have completely mentioned that you've done it to help the people who do like your videos communicate with you via alternative methods and block out the spammers and block out the negativity. I don't even think you've mentioned negativity. You just focused on spammers. So let's just go with that. Block out the spammers. Again, I understand what you've done it for and why you've done it, and I don't think you've done it for bad intentions, and I don't believe that you've done it for the wrong intentions. However, a side effect of what you've done is censorship, and because I feel strongly about it, I can't watch your videos anymore, and indeed I must say something about it because you've done it, and because you're such a significant and influential player on YouTube, you could potentially set a trend off. I just want you to know that. That's all. If you know that and you either don't care about it or you've acknowledged it and you're just playing your chances, or you do know about it and you actually promote censorship, even though you haven't directly said so. The actual meaning behind it is that you are promoting it, just not in a direct method. I understand. I just want some clarification that you're not doing it for that reason. But if you're not, tell us that. If you know what I mean, tell us that. Just concretely say, I'm not being censorship. I am doing it, because you haven't said that. You haven't said that. So therefore, the fact that I've made this meaning or gathered this meaning from you disabling the comments, I must not be the only one who thinks that. I may again be in the minority, but I'm not the one who just thinks that. And therefore, you've set off a dangerous trend potentially. So please, please snub this out. Please eliminate this trend. Turn the comments back on, or acknowledge concretely it's nothing to do with censorship. You are getting rid of it. You're just shutting off the spammers, and that's it. And you believe in the freedom of speech. Just concretely say that in a video. Say that, and then I will be most satisfied. And I might start watching your videos again. I know I'm only one of over 30 million subscribers who watch your videos, and I know it means no significant impact on your finances and indeed your viewership and your bromanship. I get that. I respect that. But be that as it may, I still I have to voice my opinion. That's where I'm at, and I hope that you get this, you understand it, and you respond to it in a way that I can turn around and go, do you know what? Cool, man. Thank you very much for listening to me, and thank you very much for acknowledging me. That'd be great. And it's how you acknowledge this that I will then play my next move, so to speak, even though saying that means I have power to destabilize you. No, I don't. Of course I don't. But if you want that extra view, if you want me back, then please quell my fears, and I will be a happy man. Appreciate that it's a difficult problem, and appreciate that it may never happen. But if you do pick it up, or anybody who's close to him picks it up, please, please just quell my fears. If you don't, then I have to carry on assuming that you are doing it for censorship. I could also assume that you're not doing it for censorship, but I cannot believe in that. I cannot quell that. I cannot follow that path. I can't. I'm sorry. I'm just not convinced by it. I'm following this path of censorship. So yeah, but anyway, that's just what I wanted to say about it. Sorry that it's a bit of a bummer and a bit of a negative note to start my channel on. However, he made a recent video, PewDiePie that is recently, about him turning off comments and just reiterating why he turned them off. Cool beans, that's fine, but I'm still not watching your stuff, man. I'm still protesting. I'm afraid you haven't quelled my fears. If you can't quell them, fine. I'm not expecting you to quell them, but just give me some clarification, okay? And then if you haven't quelled them, I'll just say you haven't quelled them and move on, go on to something else, go on to making proper content for my channel, go on to doing other things. If you know what I mean, fine with it. I'm happy to move on. But I would like to, before I move on, just get some clarification. That's it. That's all. Anyway, thank you very much for listening to this. If you have, appreciate this. It's been just over 20 minutes now, but thank you very much. Sorry for the bum note on starting, but I hope you understand where I'm coming from. I hope you're all well. Hope you're fine. Again, any comments that you want to leave for this, please leave them. I'll look at them and respond to them as best as I can. Likes, dislikes, go ahead. Leave whatever you want. That's fine. I don't mind if I get a ton of negative comments, a ton of positive, or a mixture of both. Freedom of speech, man. Do what you want. It's fine. And I'll take the risks and I'll take the consequences. Hopefully nobody doxes me and kills me or anything like that. But again, I can't stop it. If it happens, it happens. But anyway, thank you very much for listening, and I hope to see you again with a more positive note and something a little bit more worthwhile. Anyway, take it easy. Have a good one.